going the distance with local sports. This is the xSports Network.
Good evening, and welcome to our annual Lawrence County Schools Athletic Recognition. So some of the things that I want to talk to you just briefly, I want to welcome you to here, and you're here for a reason. Some of you are here because you have made a state appearance. Some of you are here because you're going to be recognized for an award. And some of you are here because you have gone all the way as far as you can, and you have become the state champion. So I want to congratulate not just only the ones that have made an appearance at the state, but I also want to congratulate the ones that went all the way and are the state champs here. So one of the things that when I think about students that are in sports, it's not always an easy thing. Not only are they dealing with academics, because academics do come first, but they're also dealing with the pressures that they have of just being a teenager, being in high school. They have extra time, extra things that they have to do as far as practices, weightlifting, any kind of test that they may have missed. So it takes a lot for a student athlete to be committed like we have here in Lawrence County. So first I want to say, good job to all of our student athletes. Second, when you think about the time that our coaches spend with our student athletes, they spend more time with them than they do their families. Now I know that they do get a supplement. We wish it could be more, but the dedication that a coach has, whether they're being paid, whether they're a volunteer, is unbelievable. The love that they have for your child is unbelievable. They have to love the game. They have to love your child. So the coaches put a lot into it. So I want to say thank you to all of our coaches. Now to our families, moms and dads, guardians, aunts, uncles, cousins. It takes a lot out of us parents. And I can say that because I do have a student athlete this year. And the time that we spend on the road, not being able to cook supper every night, not that that was something that, we did all the time in our house anyway, but being on the road, spending the money, going to support our children is huge. So student athletes, for you to be where you are, it takes your family. It takes, like I said, moms and dads, brothers and sisters, and sometimes we forget about our siblings because we're up there cheering our child on, and then, we've got another child that's just sitting there and they have to keep on coming to the games and they get bored. So, they're a support system as well. So we need to thank all of our families and our support system for taking us to all these games, spending the money that they spend, and just being there for us. So I want to let's give a round of applause to our families because they play a huge part. So tonight we will be recognizing all of our sports teams and individuals that made it either a state appearance or made it all the way to the top. But we also have some xSports Network athlete awards that will be given out. We started that last year. And then also this year is we have Lawrence County Sports Hall of Fame inductions.
So I would just like to congratulate all of our players, all of our coaches. They do an outstanding job, as all of our coaches do. But at this time, I'm going to turn it over to our golf coaches, Mr. John Campbell, and just something that I want to speak of regarding our ladies golf team. This past year, they have won their 6th consecutive state championship, 6 consecutive. The TSSAA the state record was 4 until Summertown broke that the year before last, and they made it 5. And this past year, they have made it 6. So that's just a remarkable run, and I just want to thank Coach John and Stacy Campbell for all the hard work that they put into this program. And at this time, I'm going to turn it over to Mr. John Campbell.
Thank you all very much. I may get too loud on this, but you can ask my players, I get a little loud every now and then. So one thing I want to say before I call the girls team out, look around Lawrence County. Look at the sheet that we've got here. There's a bunch of athletes, a bunch of state tournament appearances, championships. We are blessed here in Lawrence County. From the north to the south to the middle, you know, we have rivalries, but we all root for each other, and that's what it's all about. And give yourself a round of applause. I'll start with the girls golf team. This year, we got two not here, Isabella McDonald and Avery Holden, but we had two seniors this year, Carly and Campbell and Libby Kinnick. Played all 5 years as 8th grade up, and also Ella Busby, sophomore this year, and Hadley Campbell is a freshman. Like Coach Porter, or you ain't coach no more, Principal Porter said, won our 6th consecutive state championship. Last year we won the 5th straight for public school. That was a record. And again, this year we won the 6th. We've had a good run. It's been close at times. Some years not so close, but I want to thank these young ladies. They're very good athletes, but more than that, they're even better people, kids, and they're a lot smarter than I am. This team was probably the smartest GPA I've ever coached, and sometimes that's hard to coach because they think they know it all. But we are blessed to have them. In the state tournament, Carly ended up finishing first, shot 68-67. Libby finished fourth at 73-79 individual, and Ella was tied for seventh, 79-81. Girls golf, you get to play three, you count the two best scorers. Ended up winning, y'all remember how many we won by? 5 strokes this year, so it was close, 3 strokes last year. So we ended the season with a record of 58-0. I've told these girls this. Me and Stacy come in 4 years ago, so we had them 4 years, had Carly and Libby since they were freshmen. I don't really know the tallies before that, but for their high school career the last 4 years, this team is 237-0. Have not been beat. We've had quite a bit of help. As you know, we've graduated a couple of D1 golfers. We hadn't had them, but the ones that stepped up behind them, it's been a blessing. So also, Carly and Libby was named to the All-State team this year, which is a big honor. There was only 5, so we had 2 of the 5 in the small class. Again, I'm thankful for them, thankful for their accomplishments. More than that, I'm thankful for who they are. So give them a round of applause, and everybody but Carly can ease on. Can we get a picture? So I'm going to roll right into Carly. We're going to celebrate her a little bit tonight as being the individual champion for the first time in her career. Got close the prior 4 years. I think I've stood up here and said this. Runner-up the first 4 years, 8th grade through junior year. Ended up winning by 10 this year. It's hard for me as a dad to say much good about my kid in front of people, but I'm going to do a little exception here. Carly is a wonderful person. She's centered. She's got a good heart, and she's a pretty dang good golfer. So we're proud for that, and as parents, me and Stacy, we've been blessed with 4 good girls, and look forward to seeing what her 2 younger sisters can do past that. A few more things. She was 5-year All-State honors, and she holds 3 of the lowest 4 36-hole individual scores in TSSAA history. 3 of the lowest 4, and she's only won it once. The one that beat her the prior 4 years is playing for Ole Miss. Carly's going to Kentucky to keep the blue and white on and to play Ole Miss for SEC champions. So, Miss Linder, if you're watching, Carly's got something to say. So, again, thank you. Let's give Carly a round of applause. I promise this is the last one for me, and I'll be off of here. Cole, come on out. Cole Campbell, Jr. this year. Not my son, but is my son. Think a lot of Cole. He had a great year, competed as an individual this year. Team didn't make it, led the team to their best record through the year this year, but we fell, I think, four strokes short in the region tournament, didn't make it. But Cole went on, he won the championship in the past year, so he went to try to hold on to that, shot 3 under 69 the first day. He was down 3 strokes, ended up shooting 2 over, 1 under for the tournament, and finished 3rd this year as an individual. Well, a lot of people didn't know about Cole, and they knew later on because he missed basketball this year. Cole had 2 torn labrums in both hips for the whole year of golf. Cole never complained about anything to me. Every time I asked him, I'm fine. But it was awful tough to watch Cole finish because we played the state tournament at Sevierville. They were probably walking 10 or 11 miles a day carrying a bag. I didn't think he was going to make it, but he did. And had a great career. We got him fixed up over the winter, so we'll start back and look forward to seeing what he does in the future. Cole, we love you.
Next team I would like to recognize tonight is our girls cross-country team. Mr. Jordan Tucker is the girls cross-country coach. Jordan was unable to be with us tonight, but at this time I'm going to introduce the team, starting with seniors Anna Burleson and Chloe Heatherly. If y'all were here, if y'all come on out. The junior was Isabella McDonald. I don't think she's with us tonight. Sophomores, Aubrey Holden, Olivia Woods, and Sarah Jo Sims. If y'all are here, come on up. This past year, these young ladies, for only the second time in Summertown history, participated in the state tournament in cross country. And now, I don't know about you, but these young ladies love to run for fun. Now, I don't know how fun it could possibly be. It would not be fun for me. But these ladies go out and do it, and they do it well. And just one of the things Mr. Tucker wanted me to share with you all tonight, Mr. Tucker stated this team was a joy to be around. They showed up to practice every day, ready to work, and they continued to improve week after week. What they accomplished is incredible, and they set a bar very high for the future team. So give a round of applause for these ladies. Thank you, ladies. Do you want me in that picture? I might break the camera. The next team I would like to recognize tonight is the boys cross country. And the boys cross country did not get to participate in the state tournament as a team, but sophomore Andrew Mabry. Come on up here, Mr. Mabry. Mr. Andrew Mabry, he finished 8th in the region tournament. And this is something Andrew set his personal best at the region tournament, 18 minutes and 46 seconds, and that's 3.1 miles. We went back to try to gather information, and from the best that we can, from all of our records, he is the only boy I know in the last 15 years that have broken the 20-minute, 5K run. And so Andrew did it, and he, at the state tournament, he ran, I think it was 19 minutes and 40-something seconds. Andrew does a great job. He's a great student, and this is what Coach Burleson had to say about Andrew. He said, Andrew is a great runner, a great student, and an all-around great kid. He's the type of kid coaches dream about having on their team. Andrew ran his personal best, which I just told you is 18:46, and finished 8th in the region meet at Henry Horton, and he qualified for the state tournament. And so just want to take a minute to congratulate Andrew. Appreciate all your hard work, young man. The next team I'd like to recognize here tonight is our girls tennis program. Coach Andrea Kelly has been at Summertown. I think she has coached the tennis team for the last 10 years. I don't want to steal her thunder at this time, but Coach Kelly, if you'd come out here, this is their 3rd consecutive year of winning a state championship for the girls team. So congratulations to these young ladies. Coach Kelly.
I want to take a minute to brag on these girls. First, I want to say thank you to the parents of the tennis players. It's a lot of work being a parent, and without you, we couldn't be where we are today. So I want to say thank you to my parents. I want to tell you a little bit about this team, so just bear with me for a second. They went undefeated this season with a record of 23-0. They have not lost a match since the state championship match in 2021 when they finished state runner-up. Since that day, they have earned 2 state championships in 2022 and then 2023. Going into this season, when they finished the season, they were district champs, region champs, sectional champs, and they are the tennis team, Division I Class A, undefeated, 3-peat state champions. I told the girls before we played in that championship match that it is rare to win a state championship. It is really, really hard and really, really rare to win 3 in a row. I mean, we can't even compete with golf. They're out of this world. But 3 in a row in any sport is super difficult, so that is a huge accomplishment. I want to take a second to introduce these girls to you. Sophomores, Ella Busby. They got to wave or step forward or something. Ainsley Pennington, Millie Emerson, and Annalie Kelly. Juniors, Michaela Chapman and Emma Perry. Our only senior, Libby Kinnick. I also have 2 fantastic assistant coaches, Hope Perry. She came out, here she is. And my daughter is also assistant coach, Gracie Kelly. She could not come tonight. So I just want to say what a great job they did this season. We started the season in January and it was 30 degrees. And then we finished the season in May, and it was 90 degrees. So that's one thing. They fuss about the cold and the hot and the drills that I make them do in practice. But they are a fabulous group of girls. They work hard. They weren't going to let anybody stop them from making this huge accomplishment. So I want to say again, I'm so proud of them, and I appreciate their hard work this season. Okay, next. We also had players compete in the individual state tennis tournament. This tournament is a totally separate tournament from the team tournament. It has its own district, region, and state championship. First, I want to recognize our senior again, Libby Kinnick. She competed in the girls singles state tournament. This is her second trip to the state tournament. She competed her sophomore year and finished in the Elite 8. This year, Libby was the district champ, the region champ, and finished the TSSAA Division I Class A girls singles runner-up. And let me say this, Libby has made history. She is the first singles player at SHS and in Lawrence County, girls or boys, to compete in the finals of the tennis individual singles tournament. So she made history this year, and I'm so proud of her hard work and this accomplishment. All right, one more, and I promise I'm done. Okay, so that was the girls' singles tournament. There's also a girls' doubles state tournament. We had the team of sophomore Annalee Kelly and junior Emma Perry who competed for us. Annalee came into this season as the reigning doubles state champion from last year. These ladies were district champions, region champions, and the 2024 Division I Class A girls doubles state champions with a record of 28-0. This is the 5th consecutive doubles state championship for Summertown High School, and I want to congratulate Emma and Annalee for continuing the tradition of success for the Summertown tennis program. Thank you.
I would like to introduce Dr. Haley Hallmark. She is our principal and athletic director of our Summertown Middle School.
Hello. I'm here to represent Summertown Middle School. This is our first year as a standalone middle school, and we have 3 teams that have made it to state competitions. First, we're going to talk about our girls cross country, and I'm going to call Coach Stacia Gobble and Coach Elizabeth McDonald out. We're new. This is our first time here, so bear with us.
Okay, this was our first year competing in the middle school cross-country race, and this is Finley Long. She made it to the state tournament this year. She placed 78 out of, I believe, 150 girl runners, so we're super proud of her. She will be with us for 2 more years, and then she will go on to the high school and be a great addition. She's a great student, she's a hard worker, and a great athlete. So we're so proud of you.
Next, this is the first year that TMSSA had a state tournament for golf, and our girls golf was able to participate in state competition. I'm going to have Coach Katie Busby, who is also the girls golf coach of the year for our region. So congratulate her as well as she steps up here.
Thank you. I have an exceptional group of young ladies here. I'm just going to name them off. Hallie Busby is our 7th grader, and then Finley Long, 6th grade, Olivia McDonald, 6th grade, and Paisley Campbell in the 6th grade. And to be honest with you, I couldn't tell you which one is the best golfer of the 4. Today it's going to be one of them, and tomorrow it's going to be another one. This group of girls won the district, the region, and advanced to the first ever state tournament, and finished 4 strokes shy of winning the very first one, And so we are the only team coming back with all of our players. And so we're looking forward to just continuing the golf that John and Stacy have started at Summertown.
And last but not least from SMS is our state champion girls softball team, and Coach Carly Atkinson and Coach Tony Fischer.
All right, I'm going to introduce the girls, and then Coach Fincher is going to tell you a little about them. For 8th grade, we've got Izzy Garland, Reagan Stevens, May Ricks, Kinley Fisher, Mariella Parson, Madison Potts, and Liberty Ames. 7th grade, we've got Ellie Adkins, Aisley Wilkinson, Taylor Smith, and Lucy Daniel. And 6th grade, we've got Carden Putman, Scout Mason, Paisley Sherrill, Phoenix Moyer, Brielle Hoffman, and Lexi Wilkinson.
Somebody forgot to tell me we was doing this, so I don't have anything wrote down like these other coaches, so I'm shooting from the hip. Honestly, I'm gonna tell you straight up, these kids right here, at the end of January when we started, I wouldn't give you $1 to get out of the area tournament. I really wouldn't. They came to work every day, they worked hard every single day. And Coach Kelly's and the Coach Campbell's, you know, one's hard. I don't know how you do 3, 4, 5, and 6, but one is hard. So I've been trying to tell these girls, soak this in, because you may never get there again. You got to enjoy it. The word with these girls is they were lucky. Okay, we got through the sectionals because we was lucky. We wasn't supposed to get through a couple teams that had some really, really good pitchers. A couple of them could be playing for high school ball right now and doing a super job. But these kids, as one team, not just a couple good pitchers, we had the pitching, but we also had the hitting, the base running, and everything that goes with it. And these kids put together a phenomenal season of teamwork, and they give an old man a fun ride. And I'll forever be grateful to them for this. And I don't know what else I can say about them other than I love them. And thank you, parents, for all that you did.
I would like to welcome Mr. Matt Calvert, the Assistant Principal and Athletic Director of Lawrence County High School.
Thank you. Like she said, my name is Matt Calvert, Director of Athletics at Lawrence County High School and assistant principal, and appreciate everybody taking time out to recognize these kids for the hard work and everything they put in, because it does require tons of work, effort, commitment, and so many things that they learn for life. So I'm proud of all of Lawrence County. At this time, I'd like to go ahead and introduce my golf coach. I got two coaches, Coach Mike James and Coach Brad White. Coach White is here tonight to speak on behalf of our golf team. Coach White and team, y'all come on out.
Thank you, Mr. Calvert. I want to thank our administration for supporting us and thank our parents for loading up and taking these boys many times this year all over Middle Tennessee. And I know they enjoyed taking them that last trip to Sevierville. That was an incredible trip, and it was really neat to get to see these guys enjoy that together right here. Our golfers, this is the third district championship in a row for our golf team. We were regional champions. A little bit of an improbable thing, if you'd saw us the week before, we did win the district on the same course that we played the region on, but we improved by 30 strokes between the district tournament and the region tournament, and allow us to come in there and upset Cookeville and make a trip to the state tournament. This is the fourth team in LCHS's history to make the boys state golf tournament, and this is Coach James's second team to make the state tournament. Our golfers, Dalton McCauley, Wes Brewer, Carter Huntley, TJ Gobble, who's not here with us tonight, and Stephen Thigpen. And this is Stephen's second time to make the state tournament. He made it as an individual as a junior. Let's give these guys a round of applause.
Next, Lawrence County High School, we recognize two things. Our cross country and also our track and field are coached by the same coach, Coach Paul Newsom.
Congratulations to all of the athletes from all the schools in the county. It's amazing that we have so many different sports represented here. I would like to recognize our state participants in cross country and track and field. We had one girl that qualified for state in cross country. She could not be here today, but I want to mention Addie Moore. She was a senior. This was her first year on the team. She ended up with a PR personal record of 21 minutes and 37 seconds for the 5K. That's 3.1 miles. She put in a ton of miles in the summer preparing for the season, and she is signed to run at UT Southern for cross country and track and field. Now I'd like to recognize Josiah. Josiah is a junior. This is his third year in the program. Nobody works harder than Josiah. He finished, I think, 12th at sectionals last year, but he has worked all season. He's put in a ton of time, and it showed this year. His goal this year was just to make it to state. We haven't had a male track runner, I think, make it to state in like 6 or 7 years. That was his goal. He won several meets throughout the season in the 110 hurdles, 110 meter hurdles, and the 300 meter hurdles. Going into sectionals, he decided to attempt the decathlon. The decathlon, you participate in 10 events, and they give you points based off all of them. And so he had to participate in several events for the first time at the sectional meet, and he did qualify for state and finished in the top 10 in the state in the decathlon. In the open events, he finished third in the 110 meter hurdles, and then in the 300 meter hurdles, he won it, and he became our first ever Lawrence County High School track and field state champion. So congratulations, Josiah.
Great job. Next, we'd like to recognize our bowling teams. Our bowling teams are coached by Coach Chris Hagan and Coach Megan Overman. They'll go ahead and bring their teams out.
First, we'd like to recognize our boys team. On our boys team, we have Zane Hinkle, James Runyons with a high game of 300, Bryson Sutton, high game 274, Justin Kimbrell, high game 269, Jackson Buchanan, high game 263, Jackson Clayton, high game 300, Noah Smith, Peyton Ballou, high game 220, CJ Thigpen, high game 290, Darian Harvey, high game 190, Wyatt Coleman, Jackson Smith, high game 283, Denton Shelton, high game 279, Eli Littleton, high game 298, Andrew Littleton, high game 255, Isaac Blanton, high game 280, Felix Sanders, and Kyler Edwards. This team was back-to-back district champs. This time we also won the regional, won the sectionals, and made it to the quarterfinals of the state. Also, as an individual, James Runyons qualified for state competition. We do co-op with Loretto, and we are proud to team up with those kids as well. Everybody give a big round of applause for our LCHS bowling team. Next, we would also like to recognize our LCHS individual girl state qualifiers, Ashton Ballou and Sam Stepp. Ashton's high game is 254 and Sam's is 282. Big round of applause for these two young ladies.
Thank you, Coach. One thing I would like to add, we've been blessed this year with our kids signing college scholarships. We had 11 kids that already signed this year at Lawrence County High School to further their education, and we're just so thankful for that, and know a lot of kids in the county do that, so keep going for your goal. Thank you.
Next, I'd like to introduce Mr. Jason Scott. He is the athletic director and dean of students at E.O. Kaufman Middle School. However, this next school year, he will be one of the assistant principals. So, Mr. Jason Scott.
This year was my first year coming back into athletic director at E.O. Kaufman Middle School, so this has been a special year for these kids, especially these 8th graders. I've seen them grow up because I have a son that's a year older, but they've played a lot of baseball together, and it's been a privilege and an honor, and great families and just great people. And I'm excited for what they're going to do at Lawrence County High School. But at this time, I'd like to introduce Mr. Chad Moore, our head coach. He couldn't be here tonight. Our assistant coach is Mr. Chuck Landtroop, and one of the other assistant coaches, Mr. Rex McMasters, is also here in attendance. But our 29 TMSAA state champions, E.O. Kaufman Middle School.
All right. Thank y'all. I just want to echo some of the comments that's been made from the previous coaches. Our parents go out of their way. This group started I guess January, February, we started in mornings. We were 6 o'clock in the mornings at the facility getting swings in. We were 8 o'clock at 9 o'clock at night sometimes getting done because we work and share around with the high school. That's great to work with us and get our, share the facility and help us work. But these guys put in long hours. In middle school, we don't have them driving, so it's up to the parents to make those 6 o'clock morning runs and to make that. The state championship week, we were there 6 o'clock in the mornings. The morning of the final, parents had their players there at 6 o'clock in the morning getting swings in and reps. And I'm not going to say that won the state title, but I'm definitely going to say it didn't hurt having these parents to sell out for their kids, to provide this opportunity for them. So they have accomplished something that is rare. You've heard us talk many times tonight. We don't get this opportunity a whole lot, and you go and compete. So last year, our middle school players, their 8th grade groups and the 7th they came in last year, made it to the state semifinals in small school division. We lost in the state semis to the eventual state champion from Martin. This year was our first year stepping up to the 2A division. My understanding is this first year that middle school has done single A and 2A being the larger division. And we stepped out with a daunting task of getting these kids ready, getting into the state finals and going on. But I want to just recognize them for their hard work. Before I do that, Coach McMaster sitting here behind me, well known by many people in the community for all his years of hard work. But if we taught these guys and just worked with them baseball, we would be failing them and letting them down. And that's where, we as coaches try our best. But Coach McMaster has came along beside as assistant coach. He's our character coach. He's taught them faith, hard work, respect, everything that we want these guys to do. So not only are we building baseball players coming up for the high schools, we're trying to build young men, and that doesn't go without the parents setting that foundation at home and everything that the parents have done to build this foundation for us to come in as coaches and work to build this character and help with these kids and what they're doing. So extremely proud of them. So I'm going to read a little bit here what I've got. First of all, let me introduce them before I tell you about them. Go with this. So the 6th grade group, I got Tate Moore down there at the end, Logan Massa, Sam White, Kason Landtroop, Bo Hammonds, Gabe Hendrick, Caleb Lowry, Robbie Brewer, Josiah Emerson, Cooper Barnett, and Truett Waller. Our 7th graders, Dylan Perry, LB Bost, Trip Bratcher, Samuel Prince, Elam Cox, Eli Morgan, Kason Thigpen, and Asher Emerson. And our 8th graders, this group right here is a special group. Not to undersell any one of them, I believe the only underclassman that we had this year playing was our starting left fielder was Josiah Emerson. Other than that, these 8th graders have rode with us for 2 years, combining a 60-2 record and going through. But our 8th graders are Maddox Wiley, Jake Moore, Brayson Rose, Jasper Kilburn, Cole Elledge, Harrison Wiley, Callum McCauley, Chase Carr, Trenton Waller, Corbin White, and Hud Maddox. So as I say this, we set out with extremely difficult task ahead of them. The boys worked hard all season, finished the record with a record of 29-0. We were conference champions, Section 2 champions, state tournament champions. These boys had to earn every win along the way. We went in with sectional tournaments. I don't remember the exact week, you guys know, but we had tornadoes on Monday and Wednesday, thunderstorms on Tuesdays and Thursdays, and we were supposed to play every night. So every day that week, we went to school thinking that we were going to be about midnight getting home from Coffee County because we had a game scheduled, and every day it got pushed back another day. So finally, on Friday, we had a 7:30 game 2 hours away in Manchester. We came home that night, got home around midnight, went back the next day for a doubleheader of the competition to even advance to the state tournament. So we had 3 games in 18 hours to get these kids, and they performed at their best that they had all year. So in a sectional tournament, we defeated Rock Springs of Smyrna 6-2, Woodland of Brentwood 4-2, Blackman Middle School of Murfreesboro with a 3-1. Like I said, they had to play 3 games in 18 hours. We made it to the state tournament the next week, played West Collierville out of Memphis in the semifinals and beat them 5-3. Played a very tough, daunting-looking group out of Bristol, Tennessee, in the finals and won 8-3 to claim the first ever state championship in baseball for E.L. Kaufman Middle School. So everything these boys have done, go ahead and... These boys have put in the hours, they've put in the time that will only help build them for future success. Super proud of each one of them. Also, mentioned in the 8th grade recognition nights, nothing that has been published, but according to Coach Chad Moore, that we were also voted USA Today's best looking middle school coach group. I don't think there's any truth to that, but I'm not going to turn it down. I'm glad to see that we're not in a group with Loretta High School, because we definitely would have been out. But thank y'all for everything. Appreciate the support, and glad to see all the success in Lawrence County sports.
Next, I would like to introduce Mr. Brian True, who is the athletic director and assistant principal at Loretta High School.
Thank you, and again, she said that I'm Brian True, an athletic director at Loretta High School. I've been to a lot of schools. This county it's unbelievable what this county does athletic-wise, and you must be so proud of what we have accomplished as a county. I want to say thank you to xSports and to Lawrence County School System for putting on this event so that we can recognize our kids. I want to thank the parents, grandparents, brothers, sisters, cousins, aunts, uncles, nieces, because I've seen a lot at ball games. And we're just so proud that we have them supporting, and we have each one of you supporting. I do want to congratulate our players and coaches. And our coaches not only just coach your kid, they use their platform to make them either better women or better men. And they take the time out, and I've seen it time and time again at Loretta High School of all the things that they've done. So I did want to mention that. Getting to our teams, our state tournament teams, we have 3 teams that made it to the state tournament, but we also co-opted with Lawrence County High School in bowling, and we saw several of our students up here with them. We also had a football season that went 10-0 and made the state playoffs. So it's the first time that we've gone 10-0 in some time. But at this time, I want to recognize our volleyball team and Coach Nick Quillen for their runner-up in the state volleyball tournament.
Thank you, and once again, echoing what multiple people have said, it's awesome to see the success of every school in our county, the amount of success that we have at these levels. So I'm going to go ahead and call out the team. If you guys want to just go ahead and come out. While they're coming out, I just want to talk a little bit about this season. We did finish state runner-up, and that hurt a little bit to not, get that last one. But on our journey in the state tournament, we ran into Sale Creek, got put into the losers bracket, had to play 3 matches on Thursday that went multiple sets. Won all 3, didn't leave the gym until I think after 11 that Thursday night. Had to play a championship 10 a.m. the next day against Sale Creek again. Sell Creek went 50-2 on the year, and the only two teams they lost to were the 2A state champion and Pope, Georgia, who was the number 9 team in the nation. So they were stout, and we took a set off of them both times. So we played hard against them. Like I said, we didn't get where we wanted, but state runner-up is great. Just a few things about our season. We have a new gym, so we were the last team to play our regular season in the barn, and they went undefeated in the barn this year. Went undefeated in regular season district play. Let's see, runner-up in a tournament, third place in another tournament. They were district, region, and sectional champions. And they set a school record for wins in a season at 46 with 9 losses. And then obviously state runner-up. So super proud of them for that. So as far as our team, we had seniors Emily Cozart. You guys, wave, step forward something. Alyssa Green. Juniors Aubrey Ezel, J.C. Franklin, Becca Heineman, and Allie Weathers. Sophomores Anna Kate Cheatham, Mallory Corbin, Taylor Laws, Ivy Littrell, Ella Potts, Aubrey Surratt, Kendra Tidwell, and Breeley Winters. And freshmen Alyssa Andrews, Allie Augustine, Haley Bennett, Chloe Craig, Madeline Olmstead, Lily Thomas, and Sophie Weathers. We also have manager Emma James, and then I couldn't do it without my partner in crime, my sister Melissa Huntley, who's been with me all 7 years at Loretto. So thank you guys. It's been a fun ride. These girls love the sport and they love each other, and that's one thing that we preach about is if you can't have the chemistry and cohesion, you probably won't get too far, and they do. So thank you guys.
Our next team that we'd like to recognize is our girls basketball program with Coach Ashley Rutledge. They finished runner-up at the TSSAA state tournament, AA.
Everybody stare at the girls. They really love this kind of attention. They've been looking forward to this night. I want to echo what everybody says. It's definitely true at Loretto. We just thank our parents because they do so much. Not only do they raise awesome young ladies, but they bring food, they work concession, they do anything you ask of, clean a gym. They're always there to support, and I really appreciate that. I would like to thank Dr. Littleton and Coach True for the support that they give us as well. We are very blessed with an awesome community. When we came home from being the runners-up at the state, you would have thought we won the state. We had every escort, we had parents, community members, cupcakes, balloons, and we were there till about midnight that night, and we were celebrated, so that just speaks volumes about our community. I'm gonna call these girls out, starting from the end. If they want to step up and wave their hand or whatever they want to do is fine by me. Emily Cozart, Allie Augustine, Sophie Weathers, Allie Weathers, Jenny Clifton, Jana Clifton, Libby Sanders, Brenlyn Snyder, Kelslyn Coram, Cambry Hanson, Jessie Chance, Liliana Price, and Zayla McCandless. These are a wonderful group of ladies. We're missing a few, but I also want, y'all come on out here too, coaches, come on now. Nick Moore, I know you're not embarrassed. Get up here in front and center. We've got Nick, come up here, I'm not joking, get on up here. We've got Nick Moore, who this was his first year to help us, and boy was it a treat, and I do believe he's coming back. He claims that he wears a Lululemon crossbody better than any man in the county, and I would agree with him that. He really does a great job with our girls. He pushes them and he loves on them, and he was a great addition to our team. Kelly Weathers has been a volunteer assistant for 7 years, I think, 7 or 8, Kelly, something like that. We lost count. And before that, she was doing TVBA in South Lawrence. She's literally raised all these kids and puts me in a great position, and she's like been my right side girl for a long time, and I hope she'll stay for longer than this year, but I really appreciate all that she does. These girls are amazing athletes. We went 29-4, district and region champs. We stormed the sub-state, had a water party in the locker room. We headed to state, and it was an awesome run. We played Westview, who was the previous state champions. We beat them. We had Gatlinburg-Pittman, who was claimed that they were going to be one of the top 2 teams, and a lot of people didn't think we could beat them, but we did, and we beat them. We came up short with Gibson County, but it was an amazing year. I do want to point out a group of people that really poured into us. We had prayer and spiritual sponsors for these girls. They purchased Bibles. They prayed for these girls individually out throughout the whole season, sent them letters, and you can just tell that God was glorified in our season, and that's one thing that we'll always take away. This was a great season, and I'm proud of these ladies, and we look forward to next year. And one more thing, just a couple highlights. Allie Weathers hit her 1,000th point early in the season. Jenny Clifton signed and is going to Freed Hardeman to play basketball. And Libby Sanders, if everybody knows her story, she came back, and it was truly by the prayers of the community and everybody that asked about her. And it's so exciting to see her. She is back full 100% this week, doing awesome. Jana Clifton, who was also in a wreck, but then had some health issues, was out all year. And as hard as that was for her to sit, especially when her sister was a senior and she wanted to play with her, she sat there and encouraged us all. She's also back, so it's nice to have those 2 ladies back with us, but we're proud of all these girls, and thank you for your support.
I will say there's nothing like being in a small town when it comes to championships. I just can't imagine Williamson County or Nashville trying to put together a parade where they've got police escorts from almost the whole county. And we appreciate our officers and our SRO officers and everyone that participated in that. What a celebration we had. Our next team is your Class AA state champion baseball team with Coach Zach Curtis.
While everybody's coming out, first just wanted to say thank you to everybody that put this on. It's pretty special to be in a room full of great athletes and great kids that put in the time and effort they do. I was telling someone today that's pretty special to see a smaller county like Lawrence County have as much success as we've had in all sports for generations. And so I'm going to introduce these guys first. Carter Daniel, senior, he's not with us. Miles Moore, Clint Seymour, Jackson Traglia, and manager Shohei Toyoka. Juniors, Lucas Laxon and Chase Cotham. Sophomores, Jay Nairn, Braden Bennett, Lane Dixon, Raleigh Ellis, Grant Fisher, Caden Rogerson, Kason Springer, Dylan Thompson, and Mason Tidwell. And then our freshmen, Hunter Bennett, Jack Avery Vandergriff, Vinny Velos is not here with us, and then our managers, Bryson Hughes and Kaylin Goins. I'll just say a few things about this team, and I'll get off here. The biggest thing I can say about this team this year is that they were a selfless team. They showed up every day for each other and not themselves. They were more worried about what they could do for their teammate than what they could do for themselves. They didn't worry about stats. They didn't worry about anything else like that. So when they showed up every day to the ballpark, they set a goal in mind to help the guy to their left and right, and so I thought that was pretty great. They set the model at the very beginning of the year of 18 guys and one goal, and that goal was to win a state championship, not to get there. We started this journey the day after we left Milan last year after getting put out, and these guys have not stopped working since. From 6 a.m.s in August all the way through December to long, cold days in the facility hitting, and then getting our basketball boys back and then rolling right into games. They showed up every day. Their work ethic is one of the best I've seen in the 4 years that I've been here. We have to tell them to go home most of the times. I'll show up late at night I'll forget something. They'll be at the field hitting or taking ground balls. We won the tournament on Friday, and Saturday there's guys out on the field. So that tells you about the group of guys they are. They won 30 games this year. We were 30-6, and that's the most wins since 2019. We won 16 straight after losing to Milan at Freed Hardman. They were district regular season champs and tournament champs, region champs, sectional champs, and finished the year the number 1 school in small schools from the Tennesseans, so I thought that was pretty awesome. And lastly, they were named the number 14 overall team in the state of Tennessee for all classifications, so that's 1 through 4. So it's pretty special to have a team like that. Lastly, I just want to thank my assistant coaches, David Weathers, Nick Moore, and Jacob Laws. If I can say one thing about these guys, they're the backbone of this team. They do a lot of the heavy lifting and support these guys through the thick and thin. I know they're their biggest cheerleaders for these guys. And so without these 3 other guys with me, this team wouldn't be the same. But to win a state championship's difficult in any level, and it took a lot of guys this year. We had 3 guys go into and come in huge spots in the state tournament and showed up. And so we always say nothing's ever promised, it's always earned. And so I think these guys also understood that everyone we had a target on our back and everybody was coming for us, so nothing was going to be given to these guys, and they had to earn every inch they got, and they earned a state championship. So congratulations to them, and thank you.
Our last school that we're going to recognize is South Lawrence School, and I would like to introduce Ms. Shannon Snyder, who is the principal as well as the athletic director.
I'm going to be standing in for our cross-country coach, Miss Amy Simbeck. She wasn't able to be here tonight, and unfortunately, both of our student athletes that are being recognized were not either, because they are actually at a different athletic event. But with their accomplishments, it was far too great for those to go unnamed. The first one is Brooklyn Hilton. She placed in the top 10 at regions to qualify for state out of about 80 runners. Then when she advanced to state, she finished 32nd of 150 runners. And along the way, she won many races during the regular season and is an awesome kid on top of the great athlete that she is. Our second runner was Billy Hilton. He placed in the top 3 at regions to qualify for the state out of 80 runners. And then he placed 6th in the state of 150 runners. And not only did he finish 6th, he was competing as a 6th grader among 6th, 7th, and 8th graders, and that's the same for Brooklyn. So the exciting part to me for them is they have 2 more years to go win it all. So we are super proud of both of them.
Going the distance with local sports. This is the xSports Network.
Skies this one, the deep right field. Get out the tape measure. Effort skies this one, the deep right field. Get out the tape measure. Long gone.
There's that one pitch. That one swung on. That will be sent into left field. That one has a chance. And that will be a home run by Jaden Aaron.
Burke off the Raptors and in! And for the 13th time in school history, Loretto is going to the state tournament. One in the net. Can't be saved, and the Lady Cats are the district champions.
We're going to set up Brazier now. She'll finish that one with the kill and the sweep of Perry County here on senior night.
Into the paint. Kicks it over to Seymour. Seymour for 3. Bottom! Clint Seymour. Mr. Automatic.
For Maddox for 3. Front iron, no, and that will do it! For the 7th time since 2000, Lawrence County has won the district championship.
Up to Ty. Ty thought about 3. Good give and go to Grayson Burleson. Good attack by Ty. Good feed.
That one is hit deep into left field. That's over the wall without a doubt. Home run for Lawrence County.
Line right over shortstop. Going to be a play at the plate. She will be safe.
She hits this one sharply between first and second. JB is going to come around third and slide into the backside. Casey Scott, and that one will do it. The Lady Cats have exercised the Livingston Academy Demon, winning this one 57-52.
Right wing, trying to come off the string, drives in, left right hand layup up and good, and she's fouled.
Gets the paint, kick out. Libby Sanders to the left side, 3-point shot. Main!
I think it's official now. Summertown hosted with injuries, plagued with injuries.
Up the field! And put it on the board! Touchdown Wildcats! 27-14 with 5:04 remaining.
With it is Welch. And Welch
out of bounds, or did he score?
Is the touchdown!
Once again this year, and I know my cohort, and I can't be here tonight, Mr. Dusty Kaiser, always says, just little old Lawrence County. Well, guys, little old Lawrence County has been doing big things here. Obviously, as you can tell, that first part of our service took over an hour and 10 minutes, and when you recognize a lot of teams have made it to the state tournaments, won state championships, it's a good problem to have, and you guys have done some amazing things this year. Now it's time to introduce our awards, and to introduce our Volleyball Player of the Year, we have Mr. Eddie Lantrew.
Hey, I want to get this started real quick, and I know everybody's ready to go, but there's a guy that doesn't want any credit for anything. Never. But he's sitting right down there. His name is Kevin Wright. Give him a hand, please. The hardest worker I know. And they didn't, I thought, where's my notes at? Let's see. There we go. All right. Our first award of the evening goes to the versatile player on the court. Now, this is volleyball, all right? Now, this season, she helped lead Loretta to another historic season. She had 489 kills, 475 digs, 65 blocks, 116 assists, and 69 aces. She broke the 1,000 kill and dig mark in just her junior campaign. She was the Class A District 11 MVP and was an all-state selection as well. Now, her performance helped guide the Lady Mustangs to their second straight state championship game appearance and fifth in school history. Our Volleyball Player of the Year award goes to Allie Weathers. All right. When it comes to handing out the Defensive Football Player of the Year award, when this was pretty difficult, knowing how good one team was in particular this season. Now, Loretta went from one of the worst defenses in all of Class 2A to one of the best in just one season. Now, this man was one of the biggest reasons why. He switched positions and made a big impact at linebacker this year. He could have easily been considered for our Offensive Player of the Year as well, which is why he was named the Region Athlete of the Year. And he's one of the three amigos. Jack. I'm sure Jack will get this and be tickled. All right, who's up next? All right.
Now it's time to move on to our Offensive Player of the Year. When you ask many across Southern Middle Tennessee, who's the one player you would love to steal from any program and the one that you probably want to tackle the least, this is the one that comes up. He was also the one guy on the field, like I said, that no one wanted to tackle. He was the unquestioned leader for Lawrence County this past season. He had a career high over 1,050 yards rushing and 10 touchdowns for the Wildcats this season. He was also one of the leaders on defense and linebacker. Our Offensive Player of the Year goes to Lawrence County's Latavion Everly. Now Sam Camp will introduce our next award.
Girls basketball in our area has recently been strong for several years now, and recently Loretta has been one of the best. Our Girls Player of the Year not only was their leader, but shined when the lights were their brightest this season. She averaged 19 points, 7 rebounds, 5 assists, and 3 steals during the regular season. In the postseason, she averaged 21 points, 9 rebounds, and 4 assists while guiding the Lady Mustangs to their 6th state title appearance in school history. She was an all-district and all-region selection while earning a spot in the Class 2A All-State team. Our Girls Basketball Player of the Year is Allie Weathers.
Now Hayden Burks will introduce our Boys Basketball Player of the Year.
Thank you, AJ, and thank you all for all coming. One of the biggest stories in Southern Middle Tennessee during the basketball season was Lawrence County boys, and one of their biggest stars is our Player of the Year. He averaged 17 points and 8 rebounds during the regular season for the Wildcats. In the postseason is where he stepped up his game, averaging 16 points and 7 rebounds per game as Lawrence County won the district for the second straight year and reached the sub-state for the first time since 2016. He was an all-district and all-region performer. Our boys basketball player of the year is at Lawrence County's Alex Bedford.
The Loretto baseball team added to its impressive trophy case in 2024, and one of the many reasons why is our baseball player of the year. He had a 418 average with 31 RBIs while hitting over 350 with runners in scoring position. But where he really shined was on the mound. He went 11-1 with a 78 ERA while his opponents hit just 110 against him this season. In his 4 starts in the postseason, he gave up no runs, helping the Mustangs to their second state title in school history. He was an all-district and all-region selection. He was also named a finalist for Class 2A Mr. Baseball. While he could not be here tonight, our baseball player of the year is Mr. Carter Daniel.
All right, Carter, good job. For our next award is our xSports 2024 Softball Player of the Year. The softball program at Lawrence County was one of the hardest teams to beat during the 2024 season, and our Player of the Year is one of the biggest reasons why. She has a .73 average with 3 home runs, 17 doubles, and 28 RBIs, while stealing 28 bases. All marks were her career highs. She also a force on the field as well, leading the Lady Cats in field percentage and helping them to a pair of wins in the district tournament once again. She was an all-district selection this past year. Our softball player of the year is Michaela Kerr. Unfortunately, Michaela was not able to be here today, but we will make sure she gets that award presented to her whenever she gets back. Thank you.
Now it's time to introduce our Boys Soccer Player of the Year. The Lawrence County Boys Soccer program had a resurgence in 2024, posting their first winning record in quite some time. One of the reasons why is our Boys Soccer Player of the Year. He posted 6 goals for the Wildcats this season, helping them to reach the district quarterfinals. He will play his college ball next season, UT Southern, where he looks to continue his winning ways in Pulaski. Our Boys Soccer Player of the Year is Andrew Hahn. The girls' soccer program at Lawrence County continues to grow by leaps and bounds over the past few seasons. One of its stars is our 2024 Girls' Soccer Player of the Year. She had 4 goals and 4 assists during her senior campaign. When asked about Brianna, her head coach said she was the leader on the team in every aspect. Our Girls' Soccer Player of the Year is Brianna Postel.
Now it's time for our Boys Golf xSports Award. Our Boys Golf Player of the Year continue his upward rise in 2024. He was the leader for Summertown in many ways, both on and off the course. He finished third overall in the Class A state tournament this past year, shooting 2 over for the tournament. The former individual state champion did all of this while battling injuries all year long. Our Boys Golf Player of the Year is Summertown's Cole Campbell. And now to our Girls Golf Player of the Year. Our Girls Golf Player of the Year is one that many in the world of golf are going to be hearing about for many years to come. She won the Class A individual state title while shooting 3 under during the 2-day event. She also helped lead the Lady Eagles to their 6th consecutive team state title. She will take her talents to the University of Kentucky this coming fall. Our Girls Golf Player of the Year is Carly Campbell.
The boys tennis program continues to rise at Summertown. Our boys tennis player of the year is one of the biggest names. He was the #1 for the Eagle squad, made it to the district finals as a team, while making it to the district semifinals as an individual. Our boys tennis player of the year is Isaac. Is Isaac here? Nope, okay. The girls' tennis program at Summertown is a dynasty. The Lady Eagles have won 3 straight team titles, 4 overall, and our girls' tennis player of the year is one of the many reasons why. She was the #1 on the team, went undefeated through 24. In the individual state tournament, she made it all the way to the state championship match, upsetting many along the way. Our girls' tennis player of the year is Libby Kenning. Now it's time to hand out Athlete of the Year award and our Excellence Award. This goes to a guy that played a sport during all 3 seasons, fall, winter, and summer. He was a great player on the football field, a great wide receiver, defensive back as well. Basketball, after taking a year off, became an incredible player, hitting clutch shots down the stretch when his team had some injury problems during the most important time of year. And you can't say enough about what this guy did during baseball season. On the mound, shortstop, catcher, at the plate, he did about everything. When you're an all-district and an all-region performer in all 3 sports, you know you did something special. So our Excellence Award, our Athlete of the Year, goes to Mr. Clint Seymour. Now it's time to introduce Ben Luna, who's going to talk about the Lawrence County Sports Hall of Fame once he gets off of his phone.
All right, good evening. How's everybody doing? Good? Good? No, not good. Not good. See, I come from a world when I say, how's everybody doing? I preach on Sunday mornings at a couple of churches, and I'll walk out and I'll say, good morning. How's everybody doing? And a lot of times I get that response. They're like, And I say, well, that's all right. I'm going to preach for an hour and a half today. Then they say, we're good morning. It's great. Then I say, okay, I won't preach but 45 minutes today. And then they say it again, and then it gets shorter every time. So, good evening, and thank you for coming tonight to our award show and the first induction of the Lawrence County Sports Hall of Fame. Many of you, in fact, all of you in the room, play ball of some kind. Parents, many of you have played ball of some kind in your time in this county through your life. We have a very, very rich community full of amazing stories of athletes who either started the programs that you now play in or excelled in them and went very far in life. But as time has gone on, a lot of those stories may have been forgotten. So over the past couple of years, this is not just a one-year project, this is a multi-year project. Somebody had said once, hey, wouldn't it be good if we had a place that honored the standout athletes, coaches, and contributors to the sports programs in our county's history? And over the course of this time frame, we started doing research, and we made a call for nominees. And I am going to tell you tonight, we have a class of 16 people who are being inducted, 16, correct? 16, into the very first class of the Lawrence County Sports Hall of Fame. It was not easy to narrow that down to 16. And I want to say to everyone tonight, when we announce these, you're going to look and say, well, why wasn't so-and-so? Why weren't they? I wish we could add everybody on the one night. But if we did, we couldn't keep this going year after year. And that's what we want to do, is to make this keep going. But the conversation needed to start before some of these stories were lost, because some of them already have been. And it's so fun to go back and to say, okay, Lawrence County, Tennessee, the whole county, is known for a variety of sports. But hey, baseball is one of them, all right? Baseball has been one. Any idea when the first two players excelled to that form of baseball? Still going. It was in the 1880s, long time ago. And so it's going back through and finding those stories that we want to do and preserve. Now, for the first few years, the Hall of Fame will live in digital space. It is our goal, as time progresses, to eventually build a physical location that not is just a Hall of Fame, but also a Hall of Fame and museum. Because that way, the efforts, and many of yourself, several in this room, will be added as time goes on. Because these stories and these contributions need to live as long as possible. And let that begin tonight. Thank you.
You first.
To make the very first, and by the way, we are doing this in alphabetical order, so when you start to hear this, all of the names that we have in no allegiance or alliance to school or community organization, it's all in alphabetical order. So, to make the first induction, ladies and gentlemen, the good man himself.
Our first presenter will be Mr. Jonathan Weathers. I guess not. All right. So our first ever inductee into the Lawrence County Sports Hall of Fame, and His name is everywhere, especially you go to that big building over next to Lawrence County High School. He's made a big contribution, not only just here in Lawrenceburg, but all, all over southern middle Tennessee, and especially right here in the county. Our first inductee into the Lawrence County Sports Hall of Fame is Ralph Benson. Our next presenter will be Shane Clark.
It's hard for me not to call him Daddy Mick because most of us know him as Daddy Mick, but Mr. Mickey Dunn has meant so much to me and everybody in here that knew him. And the big thing for me with him is just he was for kids. He bled purple and gold just like myself, but he was for kids. He was for kids of Lawrence County. He was for kids of every county. And just the impact he had. He was a 1970 graduate of LCHS, and I'll just tell you this, I'm just winging it because that's the way Daddy Mick would want it. And so Coach Joyner helped me write some notes, scratch some notes out, but not much because that's the way Daddy Mick would want it. But he was a 1970 graduate of LCHS. He started his teaching and coaching career at E.O. Kaufman. I was fortunate enough to have him as a coach for 2 years at E.O. Kaufman, and then when I went to high school, fortunately he went with me. He was at LCHS from 1982 to 2008. He was on the TSSAA Board of Controls. He's in the TSSAA Hall of Fame. And for us to have a Hall of Fame in the county with all of the great people we've had come through here, definitely Mr. Dunn, or like I said, Daddy Mick, would have to be, he would have to be right up there as one of the top on the list. So I'm honored to be asked to give this, and I'm just, I've been blessed to know him all those years, and thankful he was with me as a player and as a coach. And I think anybody that in here that knew him would agree that he was one and only. Thank you.
What's that? Yeah, that's it. You're good. We do have representatives of the Benson family here that will receive the award on Ralph's behalf. Our next presenter will be Mr. Willie Joyner.
Well, first of all, as principal of Lawrence County High School, I just want to thank xSports for all that they do for our local athletes day in and day out. It's a constant thing for them, and we really do appreciate everything that they do. And the addition of this Hall of Fame is a great thing. So again, thank you to xSports. I am here tonight to recognize a 1954 graduate of Lawrence County High School, Mr. Foxy Griffin. Foxy was a standout basketball and football player who would grow from his athletic career to one that would chart a bright future in contributing to sports in our community. He was known for years for his service as general manager of WDXC Radio. Foxy helped to lay the path to broadcasting high school ball games that became a shining part of our history here in Lawrence County. With an iconic voice, many students grew to appreciate and relish when Foxy would call good for a three or touchdown Wildcats or whatever catchphrase he might have. I also just want to say, he used to interview coaches at halftime, and I never will forget, we'd had a bad night at the free throw line, and I know there's a couple of players in the room who will remember this, but sit down, put the headphones on, and Foxy said, "Coach, do you all ever practice free throws?" And I said, "Well, Foxy didn't show tonight, but we do. Believe it or not, we do." But he was always good at getting straight to the point and calling you out on things. And the legend of Foxy continues to grow, or continued to grow, as he was joined by Jackie Cheatwood, and they would later earn the title as the voice of the Wildcats. So, ladies and gentlemen, it is with great pride that we induct the late Foxy Griffin, Milton Foxy Griffin, into the first class of the Lawrence County Sports Hall of Fame.
Our next presenter will be Will Pettis.
All right, well, when the discussions of the Sports Hall of Fame began, it was determined that it wouldn't just be made up of athletes or coaches, but also key contributors who really poured themselves into local sports, who really dedicated big chunks of time to tasks that maybe not even, they don't bring a lot of glory, they don't bring a lot of applause, but they're these servants that just really pour into these athletes, and we thought they should be recognized too. So on the Summertown side of things, when we got a committee together of longtime Summertown supporters to talk about who could possibly fit that description, it didn't take long at all for them to decide that the late Coolidge Haddock should be inducted to this initial class of the Lawrence County Sports Hall of Fame. Coolidge gave 33 years of his life to Summertown basketball, where for the road games, he kept the scorebooks, and for the home games, he ran the clock. And get this, during that 33-year period where he raised a family, he did all the normal events of life that anybody goes through in 33 years, Coolidge Haddock only missed 4 games in that 33-year period. Boys games, girls games, all those long road trips to Linden, to Clifton, and if in the state tournament to Vanderbilt. He was there for all of it. Just imagine all the sports history that he was an eyewitness to in those 33 years. He was the right-hand man to coaching legend Ralph Benson all those years at Summertown, and also to girls coach Theo Jones when he became coach. And prior to that, as a player, as seen on these pictures here, he played on the teams in the mid-40s at Summertown. He was the captain of the 47 team, and he also left his mark in baseball. Now, there was not high school baseball in those days, but he coached Summertown teams in the Mount Pleasant Babe Ruth League. He coached Little League teams in the Etheridge Little League, and he also coached some slow pitch softball for Summertown teams in the Mount Pleasant League, so he certainly left his mark there. But now, how else did Coolidge Haddock leave his mark at Summertown? Well, by his descendants that went there after him. His son, Rick Haddock, played basketball for Summertown in the late 60s, and he took over as head baseball coach in the early 80s, and as you've heard, he took 3 different years, he took teams to the baseball state tournament. In 92, they won the school's first ever state championship. The baseball field that Summertown plays on today is named Rick Haddock Field after the son of Coolidge Haddock. And then take it a step further, 3 grandchildren of Coolidge Haddock were key athletes at Summertown as well. Scott Haddock starting at third base for the championship team in '92. Leah Black now, still holds the girls' scoring record at Summertown in basketball with 2,040 points. And then Trent Haddock, bat boy in that '92 team, but also was a great player in high school himself, went on to play college ball. All three of those grandkids of Coolidge Haddock played college sports after Summertown. So it's safe to say Coolidge left his mark on Summertown sports. Athletes of SHS are still enjoying the fruits of his labor 33 years that he gave a long time ago. His son, Rick Haddock, will be accepting this on his behalf. Everyone show your appreciation for this great servant, Hall of Fame inductee, Coolidge Haddock.
We've got members of the Dunn family here that will now accept on Mickey Dunn's behalf. Our next presenter will be Don Cottrell.
I'm not Don. Okay. Our next inductee is somewhat of, like the rest of folks, a trailblazer, but may not necessarily have known that he was trailblazing. Someone once said that a goal and a barrier is meant to be broken, even sometimes when you don't realize it. Such is the story of James Harlan, a broadcasting and athletic trailblazer. Not only was James Harlan one of the region's first African-American referees, James trailblazed in an era when many would have rejected him showing up to call a game just because of the color of his skin. Yet, James did. And for over a decade, he was welcomed and beloved as a broadcaster of Lawrence County athletics. And all the while being, and I don't think he really knew it until we told him, he was and is the first African-American broadcaster for local sports in Lawrence County history. Not just Lawrence County, but in southern Middle Tennessee and northwest Alabama. Please welcome to the stage to accept his induction tonight, the trailblazing Mr. James Harlan.
I just want to say thanks for everyone here in Lawrence County for accepting me as a sportcaster. I know that Foxy Griffin and Jackie Cheekwood is looking down upon this night and saying, I knew that you could do it, so brother. Thank you very much.
Our next presenter will be Nathan Hartsfield.
All right. I'm here to present Ronnie Hartsfield. He's a 4-year member of the LCHS football team, 2-year member of the basketball, 4-year member of baseball, an assistant coach with LCHS for 4 seasons in baseball. As an LCHS football player, he won the MVP his sophomore and senior seasons, was elected to All-Mid-State sophomore and junior year, All-Conference junior and senior season, and an Associated Press All-State team member his senior year. At LCHS, and this is in the paper, he had a .620 batting average just his senior year, and they were a state runner-up that season. He was recruited by the University of Tennessee to play baseball. He was a 4-year starter, started 3 seasons in center field, his 4th season at shortstop, and as stated by his coach, Bill Wright, at the time, the shortstop we had made a bunch of errors, and so they put Ronnie there. He was all SEC his freshman and senior season. He set school records for hits, runs, stolen bases, doubles, at-bats, was listed 4th in triples, 8th in RBIs, and 8th in career batting average with an average of .351 by the end of his last season with the Vols. He made the University of Tennessee's All-Century team, which included the top 26 players from 1910 to 2009, alongside guys like Phil Garner, Todd Helton. Locally, he's been involved in the youth programs for a countless amount of hours. For some of you here tonight, he most likely worked directly with you, I'm sure, at some point at some of these local ball fields. I've been met myself by just countless people that I have no clue who they are in this community that will tell stories about my dad, and I just want to say I appreciate everyone. And Dad, although you never made it pro, his agent actually died a few days before the draft. But Bob Moore wrote in the DU on March 29th, 1989, after talking to my dad, that his goal for success now is to raise his boys and be the best dad he can be. And knowing Ronnie's spirit and dedication, he will once again be at the top. And so as one of those 4 sons and as a voice for all 4 of us, some of us here tonight, you know, I appreciate it. You are rising to the top, and you've been an influence on a whole generation of kids, many my age, many living here in Lawrence County now, that are still working on rising to the top. So I introduce you an xSports Hall of Fame inductee for Lawrence County High School, Ronnie Hartsfield.
Our next inductee, Johnny Jones, is a graduate of Loretto High School. In 1967, he was drafted 5th overall by the Washington Senators, becoming the highest draft pick of any player in any sport in Lawrence County. He spent 3 seasons in the Senators organization, then spent the final 2 years of his career in the Houston Astros farm system. Jones had his number 44 jersey retired this past year at Loretto High School. We now honor Johnny Jones with his induction into our inaugural class of the Lawrence County Sports Hall of Fame, Mr. Johnny Jones.
Y'all hanging in there? Of course, it's well known Summertown has a very rich history in basketball, and every decade has its own list of basketball stars to talk about. But really, the first great superstar in Summertown sports history, the first to receive statewide recognition, would be Jackie Land from the class of 1953. Standing at 6'4", which in the early 50s is pretty tall, and playing in an era where there was no classifications. Jackie's accomplishments include all region of 51, all district 3 times in 51, 52, and 53, all mid-state twice. But then the ultimate award, when there were no classifications, from little old Summertown, he was named All-State his senior year. That's the top 8 in the state. Now, Jackie, he predates the gym that we play in now. He would have played at that little gym that they tore down a couple of years ago. And of course, without very many photos of Jackie, of course, no videos of Jackie, it kind of reminds me of those myths that you have of Babe Ruth. Did he really call his shot? Because you don't really have the evidence of that. Well, there's a myth with Jackie. It said that he shot a basket through those low-lying rafters at that little gym in the middle of a game and then swished the net and it went in. Now, can I prove it? No more than I can prove Babe Ruth's called shot. But some of you may remember that we had this fantastic Christmas tournament in 1996, 1997 at LCHS, where the teams of the old 21st District got together and played each other. Well, the program for that tournament is the best history book you'll find anywhere of the old 21st District. And in that program, Jackie told the story, one of his more precious memories, of when Lawrence County High School dedicated the brand new $150,000 gym, the Ilk Kaufman Gym now. And the governor of Tennessee at the time, Gordon Browning, made the trip for the dedication, and Jackie Land's Summertown Eagles spoiled that dedication with the 45-34 victory over Lawrence County. In some capacity that we're not sure of, Jackie played basketball for the FBI. Now, I don't know the details of that, but you saw the pictures of him with the basketball in front of the FBI logo. So with his time with the FBI, he played basketball with them. His younger brother, Tommy, is 3 years younger than him, was a freshman when Jackie's a senior, and he had very similar success when he played for Ralph Benson's teams in the years that followed. Unfortunately, Jackie passed away a couple of years ago in 2022, so his younger brothers, Tommy and Leon, are here to accept this award for Jackie. It's an honor for me to present as an inductee for the inaugural class of the Lawrence County Sports Hall of Fame, Mr. Jackie Land.
Well, this one was going to be a surprise until he looked at the rundown for the night and saw his name on there. And all of a sudden it wasn't a surprise, and he figured it out. When I was 15 years old, I got introduced to an icon of Lawrence County athletics and local radio, Eddie Landtroop. And I could go on to say the various calls that Eddie has made, but one thing was for sure, Eddie Landtroop's blood has always been white, black, and gold. Eddie Landtroop, voice of the Mustangs, served Loretto High School for decades in calling basketball and football. And few other voices in history of broadcasting in the region are as iconic as his and so very quickly associated with one school. Therefore, it is with great pride and honor that we induct as part of the first class, Mr. Eddie Landtroop, forever the voice of the Mustangs.
Well, one of the joys I've had in this process of researching the Hall of Fame inductees of this initial class is getting to speak with Darlene Long Smith, one of the first great women's basketball players in Summertown history. After playing her middle school ball at the school and center, she stood at 4'10" as she joined the high school team as a freshman. So Coach Ralph Benson, and let's not forget, Coach Ralph Benson also coached women's basketball. He nicknamed her Peanut. As a member of the 54-55 women's team, Darlene automatically became part of history, as it was the inaugural season played in the gym where Summertown currently plays today. She might be mad at me for pointing this out, but this upcoming season will be the 70th anniversary of the inaugural season at that gym that we play in today that she was a part of. At least looking back at the old scorebooks, it appears the first game at that gym was against Centerville on November 12th, 1954. And while it's viewed by everybody that comes in there today as one of the smaller courts you'll see anywhere, Darlene's comments to me was she was pretty overwhelmed how large the court looked when it was brand new and she was coming to Summertown from center to play. She's afraid she'd run out of energy too quick on that large court. But in looking back at the old scorebooks, it was determined that Darlene, although very short in size, scored over 1,600 points during her 4 years at Summertown. And clearly this was at a time before the three-point line. It was also a time without classification, so she did a lot of that scoring on larger schools. What may be the most impressive of all is after she graduated from Summertown, Darlene played basketball for the Nashville Business College. Now, if you're like me, you may not have realized that there was no NCAA basketball women's tournament before 1982. So in her time, the Amateur Athletic Union, AAU, was really the only league where female athletes could continue their careers in those days. And Darlene was recruited by that Nashville Business College who dominated that league in those days. And she was playing basketball for them within days of graduating high school in '58. One source said she played AAU basketball within 14 states that first year out of high school. To give you an idea of what kind of team she was playing for, Darlene's coach at the Nashville Business College was John Head, and he was in the inaugural class of the Women's Basketball Hall of Fame in '99. One of her teammates, Nara White, thought to be the best women's basketball player of her time. She's enshrined in the Naismith Basketball Hall of Fame. That's the one that Jordan and Magic Johnson are enshrined in. So for you Loretto fans, who I'm sure have heard a lot about your legendary 58 girls basketball championship team, Ruth Brown from that 58 team was one of Darlene's teammates in this Nashville Business College. And by the way, Darlene, graduating in '58, remembers that Loretto 58 team really well. That was one of the better teams that she recalls playing in high school. So Darlene's impact on Summertown sports continued in recent years. Both sons, Philip and Jason, played basketball, and grandchildren Sarah Beth and Jake Smith played multiple sports throughout their senior seasons at Summertown. I'm honored, I'm thrilled to present as an inductee for the inaugural class, Lawrence County Sports Hall of Fame, wearing number 10, Miss Peanut herself, Miss Darlene Long Smith. Well, this one will be interesting. Well, and I do hate that we didn't get to hear much about Ralph Benson tonight. The presenter must have been a mix-up there because there's a lot. We could have talked about Ralph Benson for a solid hour and not told everything. But he parted ways with Summertown after 16 years there, 16 very successful years there. And when Ralph Benson parted ways with Summertown after the 68-69 season, it sort of started this coaching carousel for boys basketball. And in the decade of the 70s saw, those 10 years saw 6 different boys head coaches. And that final season of the 70s, the 79-80 season, Summertown Eagle boys basketball team had an abysmal record of 1-25. So the team desperately needed someone to rescue the basketball program at Summertown. So enter Coach Gene McBee. Coach McBee, he coached basketball 14 consecutive seasons at Summertown before stepping down after his 94 Final Four appearance. And then he returned one more season in 97-98 to fulfill a last-second coaching vacancy. But the players from his very first season recall him arriving early in the summer of 1980 and working them all summer long, and they went from 1-25 the previous season to second in the district, the close second in the district the following season. I actually saw Mike Kilburn at breakfast this morning, and he informed me that first summer, the first day of tryouts, had about any kid ever touched a basketball showed up for tryouts, about 30, 35 kids. And they didn't touch a basketball in that tryout, though. He told everybody to go outside where his little green Toyota was. He got in the truck, told everybody to follow him. He drove them all around Summertown that day. And then the next day at tryouts, about a third of them showed up, and he says, all right, let's get to work. I never played for Coach McBee, so I wanted to reach out to several who did, and I thought I'd share a few quotes. But before he completely changed the culture at Summertown, he was the previous 10 years the head coach at Columbia State, and he had an amazing 264 wins and only 65 losses at Columbia State, 4 state championships and 3 trips to national tournaments. But just to quote a few people who played for him, Coach Jason Burleson, Summertown Baseball, says he's an awesome coach, an awesome person who did a lot for students and players that most people never knew about. He went on to say, as all I know, he was the best coach I've ever played for. Doug Riggs, point guard for the 94 Final Four team. He lived in Columbia his childhood years. And if you saw any of the middle school games I've loaded to YouTube lately of Doug, he's about this tall. Did not look like a basketball player, but G. McBee saw something in him, and he took him to school every day to Summertown until he's old enough to drive. And anyone that watched SHS basketball in the 90s knows what kind of point guard Doug Riggs turned out to be. And, of course, we've all enjoyed watching Doug's daughter, Olivia, play the past few years, so you can indirectly thank Coach McBee for that as well. Jeremy Aaron, whose son was on the winning Loretto baseball team this past weekend, said G. McBee was the greatest practice coach he's ever seen. With his drills touching every aspect of the game, 85% of the practices revolved around defense. Before each season, he would schedule these controlled scrimmages against a superior Columbia Central team where they spent about 85 of the scrimmage letting Columbia players run their offenses so he could work their defense against those athletes. And then a funny story Jeremy shared during a loss at Collinwood where the officiating was poor. Coach McBee took a dry erase board that normally he would draw up plays for his team on, and he wrote a rather poignant message for the officials on it, and he stuck it on their dressing room door so they'd have to see it before they leave. And then, of course, Jeremy and others have mentioned his antics with a spirit stick at pep rallies, and I'll acknowledge Mickey Dunn is still the best at pep rallies, but G. McBee might have been a close second because he did get those students riled up with that spirit stick. And I've also heard one of his one-liners was, he's got to be the dumbest smart person I've ever met. And then for whatever reason, he just did not like the students walking on the grass. I'm still scared when I'm on campus to step foot in the grass because that was a punishable offense if you stepped off the pavement on your way to or from lunch. And then Philip Willard spent many years learning from McBee and became McBee's successor in the mid-90s and then came back to completely changed girls basketball forever in the early 2000s. He talked about G. McBee talking to the media at the state tournament and how comfortable he was with them and some of the one-liners he gave them. The media asked, what's the team record? And he said, quote, well, the team was 20-0, but my record was 0-10. And then my personal favorite is they asked Coach McBee what his team's strengths and weaknesses were. And for their strengths, he told them, we have very deceptive speed. We're much slower than we look. And then I wonder what Coach McBee would think when he saw Jason Burleson coaching the cross-country team. But then for their weaknesses, he said, well, for one, our coach is senile. And then Willard spoke about the days with McBee in the 70s at Columbia State, that crazy success that he had there and how the little gym at Columbia State would be packed for those games. He said it was like Phi Slamma Jamma there. If you've noticed the video of him playing the guitar over there, that's something else he'd do at school. He'd cut up with the kids and play guitar for them. And when the baseball team won the 92 championship, he was one of their biggest fans. And when they celebrated afterwards, he had even written a song for the 92 baseball team, and that's what he was doing there, was performing that for them. But really, we don't have enough time to properly honor him. He was just simply a difference maker in so many lives. And being a basketball coach and a school disciplinarian like he was, that was just his vehicle he used to make this part of our world a better place. And we know when I knew him in the late 90s, I didn't think he'd ever age. But sadly, he did pass away in 2011. I believe he has family here tonight, both kids and grandkids, and his son, Pete McBee, I believe is going to accept this on his behalf. So ladies and gentlemen, show your appreciation for the late G. McBee. He's now an inductee of the Lawrence County Sports Hall of Fame.
Our next inductee is Heath Springer. He's a 1992 graduate of Loretto High School. In his senior football year in 1991, the Mustangs had a school record 11-1 campaign that resulted in the first playoff win in school history. From there, he spent a season at the University of North Alabama before transferring to Cumberland University. While with the Phoenix, he was a three-time All-Mid-South Conference selection. In his senior year, he was an NAIA All-American, guiding his team to a 5-4 record. We now honor Heath Springer with his induction to the inaugural class, the Lawrence County Sports Hall of Fame, and accepting on his behalf is Nick Moore. Our next inductee is Johnny Jones, who is a graduate of, went ahead of myself there. And 1 second, ladies and gentlemen. Our next inductee is Leonard Staggs, who was an institution at Lawrence County High School for 22 years. He led the Wildcats on the gridiron in football and on the hardwood in basketball. During his time in LCHS, he led the football program to 125 wins and 11 winning seasons. In basketball, he racked up 354 wins to go along with 6 district titles, 4 region championships, and 6 trips to the state tournament and 2 journeys to the Final Four. Not only was he a force on the field and on the court, he was off of it as well. He started the Little League program and was the director of the Summer Youth program. He helped build the new stadium, which was named in his honor in 1982. He was inducted into the TSSAA Hall of Fame in 1988. He was also inducted into the Middle Tennessee State University Hall of Fame in 2002. Leonard Staggs is our newest inductee into the inaugural class of the Lawrence County Sports Hall of Fame. And our next presenter is going to be Mr. Eddie Lantry.
You know, they've got a lot of things written here. I'm not going to read any of it because I know people are getting a little tired. Would you stand up? Can you stand up just a little bit? Everybody stand up. Then I'll let you sit back down. Now, could you put your hands together and start up making applause? Because I'm going to announce the next inductee. His name, the second best baseball player that ever come out of Lawrence County. Ryan's the best. David Weathers. Come here, buddy. Hey, I want him to say something. I'm going to give it here. Hey, buddy, love you, man.
You want me to say something?
Yeah, I'll give you time. All right.
Hey, it's going to be brief. I just want to thank the Lawrence County, the people of Lawrence County, Ben and AJ. I know Cam Ashburn has something to do with this. This is a good thing for our county. We need it. We've got a lot of athletes, much better than me, that's come through this county, accomplished a lot. I was fortunate to play baseball and be pretty good at it and make a career out of it, but I want to thank Eddie. You know, he a fellow inductee from Loretta, and I'm like the rest of these guys that are presenting. Man, you cut me, I bleed black and gold, and I love Loretta. I love what it's done for me. Coach Ernest, Coach White, Coach Rogers, all those guys got me started, and my very first coach was Melvin Thomas, and he helped me love the game of baseball. So thank you guys for having me.
Ryan or David? Who you like the best? Ryan or David? Ryan?
No,
okay.
David.
Love you, buddy.
No pictures?
Yo, come here.
Can't be here. Well, and Wiki was the one person that I said, I'll send you the video so you can hear this, because he lives in Georgia. But Wiki White played 4 successful years of college basketball at Ole Miss, and his family lives in Georgia, so they cannot be here tonight. The person here who probably saw him play more than anybody was Miss Darlene Smith. So she graduated the same year that he did. So I'm gonna have her come out and accept this on his behalf. To my knowledge, Wiki White is the only player out of Summertown to play basketball in the SEC. He was All-State twice with no classifications. He played in 3 consecutive state tournaments. He's an obvious choice for the inaugural class of the Lawrence County Sports Hall of Fame. I hate that you didn't get to hear all of it.
We're hoping that we have another long ceremony next year for all the right reasons. So everyone go home, be safe, eat dinner, have a good time. We'll see you guys next year.